Flexing. A lot of people, the Iron Bowl of basketball is just a name. The Alabama versus Auburn rivalry on the hardwood will never reach the popularity that it has on the football field on Thanksgiving weekend. However, what the basketball version of the Iron Bowl lacks in popularity, it definitely does not lack in intensity. We saw that firsthand last night in Alabama's 79-75 victory over the Auburn Tigers there at Coleman Coliseum. What's good? What's good? It is C. Wood coming at you with a little ball about the South. We're talking a little SEC basketball. Yes, it was the Iron Bowl of basketball between the number 8 ranked Auburn Tigers, who visited Coleman Coliseum to face the Alabama Crimson Tide last night. The Tigers come into that game 5-0, all alone atop the SEC. Alabama right behind them though at 4-1. Huge matchup there at Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa. But let's talk about this game. Let's go back at it again. You know what we do here on Ball About the South. My name is C. Wood. We do it for the SEC. We do it the HBCUs, the NBA, the NFL, and we do it all about the South. But let's get into this matchup from last night. Alabama came in off a huge loss, 20-point loss to Tennessee just this past Saturday. Nate Oates had some really choice words for his basketball team, and he really challenged them this week in practice from what I'm hearing. And it looks like that challenge was heard and that challenge was met by his players on Wednesday night against the Auburn Tigers. Auburn came in winners of 11 games in a row, 16-2 record overall, 5-0 record in the SEC. And like I said again, they were all alone atop the SEC in the standings. So what was going to happen Wednesday night? Obviously, Coleman Coliseum was rocking, sellout crowd, 15,000 plus. And then the game gets off to a really inauspicious start with the lights. Yeah, Janai Broome hits the three to start the game, and then the lights go out. Well, they didn't go all the way out, but there was a definite lighting problem there at Coleman Coliseum, so they had to kind of work that thing out. Once they did work it out, Auburn got off to a really quick start after that and went up by as many as 9 points there in the first half. But back came the Alabama Crimson Tide, the way they usually do with the 3-ball. That is their calling card. We all know that. And leading the way, Ryland Griffin, as we sit there, Ryland Griffin has really been stepping up for Alabama as of late, shooting the 3-ball, playing really good defense. Had a shaky game there against Tennessee, so he did not get the start on Wednesday night against Auburn, which was obviously a decision by Nate Oates to see what he could get out of Ryland Griffin off the bench, and the results were very, very good. There's no question about that. Ryland Griffin, we'll sit here and look at his stats last night. We'll sit here and look at this 3-ball that he makes right here, and this was a huge 3 to put Alabama up 65-60 at this point in the game. Ryland Griffin hit his first 4 threes of the game there in the first half at 12 points. But then that 3, again, was one of the biggest shots of the game. Auburn actually had taken the lead 58-57, very brief. Then the game had tied back up at 60, and Alabama went on a little quick 5-0 run, which ended with that Ryland Griffin 3-ball to put them up by 5. That turned out to be, in my opinion, one of the big turning points of the game. Huge threes by Ryland Griffin as he went 5 for 10 from 3. Obviously, Mark Sears was huge in this game, 22 points, 8 assists, just doing his thing, man. The SEC Player of the Year candidate who's leading the SEC in scoring, still scoring around 20 points a game. Huge when he had to be, but really, I tell you what, the night, probably the biggest contribution from Alabama was probably Grant Nelson. And that is one thing that this Alabama fan base, the Alabama coaching staff, really, I would say a lot of people around the country have been waiting to see is Grant Nelson come up in a big game and make big time plays. Now he's still struggling from shooting the basketball from the field. I mean, he has been way off from 3-point range. So his coaches, Nate Oates, have wanted him to start driving the basketball to the hole. We know how athletic he is. This guy at 6'10", 6'11", but he can put the ball on the floor, can get to the rim. If he can do that on a regular basis and kind of get his confidence back up, kind of, for me, what I see out of Grant Nelson right now is he's kind of pushing it a little bit too hard. He's a little bit too anxious on the floor. Let the game come to him a little bit. Take what the defense gives him. Those guys are going to be rushing out to him at the 3-point line. Take the ball by them. Take the ball to the hoop. Get the points now in that range. Draw the fouls. And finish through contact. I think what Jay Williams was saying last night was absolutely correct, is that he has to finish through contact. And that's something that he has not been doing. It's kind of like, let's be real about it. He's been kind of playing a little bit soft. And you want your big to be able to get down in there and be able to grind. And that's what he did last night. Now, we've had good contributions from Grant Nelson defensively. He leads the team in block shots. He's been a decent rebounder. Probably could be a little bit better. Probably could get down and defend a little bit better, maybe on the perimeter, things of that nature. But when he's needed, he's been there defensively. And last night he showed up offensively enough, despite not shooting the basketball well. But the biggest thing is he was able to get to the free throw line last night, which is something that was missing from his game. He was only averaging like 3 or 4 free throw attempts a game. Last night he was 8 of 9 from the free throw line, which was huge. That's what you need. Other huge contributions last night for Alabama: Latrell Wrightsell, 14 points, 9 rebounds. If you sit there and look at the stats that I have on the screen right now, and again, like I said, Rylan Griffin, huge game, 17 points. Those were the leaders of the game. Some good moments from Wagi last night. And how about Jaron Stevenson, the youngster who really should be in high school right now, came up with maybe his best performance of the season. Only 6 points, but it wasn't the offense. It was everything else that he did defensively, and just not making the rookie or freshman type mistakes that we've seen him make in prior basketball games, which was really huge for Alabama in last night's win, 79-75 over Auburn. Let's look quickly at Auburn's stats. Huge night from Janai Broome. In a lot of ways, Janai Broome probably could have scored more points. He probably could have had a bigger impact than he had, because Auburn was kind of not going with him. They were kind of throwing up threes, seemingly maybe kind of trying to match Alabama 3 for 3 there for a while, and that's kind of how Alabama was able to pile up that 14-point lead in the first half. But coming out second half, they really established Janai Broome down low, and he had a really good game until he fouled out late in the game. As you see there, he only played 26 minutes in the game. You had good contribution from off the bench there as well. Donaldson, Baker Mazzara had 11 points. Donaldson, 8 points off the bench. So good. Again, just a really good win for Alabama. They needed this victory at home. You got to protect your home court in the SEC. If you're going to win an SEC championship, if you're going to, not only if you're going to win, if you're just going to be able to contend in the SEC, you got to win your home game, especially coming off a huge loss against a good Tennessee team. Look, the crime wasn't that Alabama lost to Tennessee. The crime was the way they lost. The way they played Saturday afternoon had to get better. And last night, it absolutely did. Huge win for Alabama last night. Well, obviously, long way to go in this season. There's no question about that. You sit there and you look quickly at the schedule. It doesn't get much easier, man. You got LSU coming in on Saturday. LSU has been playing very well of late. And again, we'll see how this thing goes. Tough loss for LSU last night at Georgia. Georgia's absolutely killing it. Alabama has Georgia coming up on the schedule next week. So, again, huge win for Alabama. Again, my name is C. Wood, man. This is Ball About the South. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think about last night's basketball game. Grant Nelson, Mark Sears, Rylan Griffin, their huge contributions in that game. Let me know what you think about my little podcast right here. And again, until next time, man, I'm out. Ball About the South.